The announcement coming down from the IOC this week that the 2020 Summer Olympics are going to be postponed. BTN's Robbie Hummel, of course, also an aspiring Olympian. He's on Team USA, the 3-on-3 basketball team. He joins us now from Los Angeles. And Robbie, let's start first with just your reaction. This has been building for a while. I'm sure it did surprise you, but there has been this sense that the games would be postponed. But when you heard definitively that was happening, how did you react?
It was probably more of a relief, honestly. Like I thought it probably should have been done a couple weeks ago, but they didn't do it for whatever reason. And I thought the USOC did a good job of polling all the athletes. So they sent out an email, and there was a really good, thorough poll of what do you want, what should we do, why are you feeling this way, and they sent the results out super fast too. So I think that there was a pretty resounding sentiment among most athletes that was like, I'm just not able to train. Like I haven't played basketball in a couple weeks because you can't. I've been doing makeshift workouts in my girlfriend's apartment spare bedroom with like a 40-pound kettlebell that I bought from Bowflex on Amazon that adjusts. It can go from 5 to 40 pounds. I got a jump rope, I've got some bands, and I've got a pull-up bar, which I'll probably rip a door hinge off. So it's really good, really effective the last 2 days.
Yeah, so that does not sound like ideal training. At what point did you cut off your training?
So I had kind of stopped doing TV in late February. Like I really pared down my appearances. I wasn't doing a conference tournament. I wasn't going to do the NCAA tournament this year for Westwood. And I did a game for ESPN. I believe it was like February 26th or 7th. It was Nebraska and Ohio State in Lincoln. And from Lincoln, I headed out to here to Los Angeles. And we had a week-long training camp set up. We were going to have a week in Pittsburgh, and then we were heading to India. We'd be playing right now. And we made it through 3 days out here. So we put our offense in. We didn't even get to play. We had not made it to actually playing 3-on-3. But you could kind of feel it coming, and you could kind of feel that, like, things were starting to get postponed, and there was some talk about the NCAA tournament being held without fans. And you could kind of feel that it was going to be the play with the way things were going in other countries. And also, you had to think about, for this Olympic qualifying tournament in India, there were countries that were supposed to play there that couldn't get in the country. You had South Korea, who had been banned from India at the time for coming in. And you had any athlete that had played in China could not enter India if you had been there from January 15th on. So there were some real logistical issues, whether that was on the country standpoint or also from an athlete standpoint, especially with like our women's team. We had one woman who had played professionally in China and hadn't left before the date, so they had to replace her. So there was some really weird things that were happening. So it made sense. It was the right play. What
do you think the best solution is?
I think just push it back a year. You have to think about the money that Japan has put into this. Like, you're talking about 15, 16, 17 billion dollars of infrastructure and planning, and like they deserve to host it. To me, it's like, who cares if it's in a non-Olympic year traditionally? Like, you just move it back. You can still call it the 2020 Olympics that just happened to be in 2021. But with all the qualifying that has to happen and all the other things that go down with the Olympics that maybe if you're a casual observer, you don't know about. You tune in, you see who's there, but they have to get there somehow. So those aspects of the games have to be kind of refigured out. But to me, I would just think you push it back a year and everything kind of gets delayed in the same order it would have been.
All right, my friend. Well, I hope those kettlebells treat you well. Yeah. It's not exactly the Olympic regimen you were hoping for, but again, we look forward to watching you represent the U.S., and I guess it'll just be a year later than we had hoped. But thanks for spending a few minutes here, Robbie.
Of course. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.